another episode of Buffalo Happy Hour. Mike, what's going on?
Derek, we are back over at Addie's. Of course, Addie's Fine Wine and Spirits on Transit Road in the wonderful Billville, which is what I like to call Williamsville. But we have new friends and new guests on our show, and we're going to be diving into a few different products that you decided to bring with you. So thank you very much. But you want to introduce yourself to start, and then we can dive into everything and everything wine.
Yeah, of course. Hello, guys. First of all, thank you for inviting me here. I am Valerio Valentini, and you can hear from my accent, I'm not American, I come from Italy. But I am becoming a citizen of Buffalo because lately I spend more time in Western New York than in my country. So the only thing that I'm missing is the accent. I have hard time. Anyway, I come from a region that is named Abruzzo. Abruzzo is a region that is in central Italy on the east side, on the Adriatic Sea side. Mainly rural region, countryside, and as you can imagine, when you speak about the countryside of Italy, the first thing that comes in your mind is wine. Mm-hmm. Surrounded by vineyards, and that's my biggest passion.
What was it like growing up in that area of Italy as a kid?
It's fun for sure. You hang out with friends. Life is pretty peaceful. I loved it. I had a great childhood. I told my wife I would like to raise my kids there. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's a great place where to live. But of course, the opportunities that United States give you, you don't have them there. So sure. You enjoy that very much when you're young. When you grow up, depending on what you want, you gotta move out. You know, it's like when you live in a little town and then you want to move to the big city sure. Because the big city offers you more. So yeah, that's how it is. But I am happy with my childhood.
When was the first time you came over to America?
The first time I came over to America was 2007.
Okay.
I went to Miami. I was studying foreign languages in college in Italy, and I wanted to improve my English. So I came to Miami for 3 months to study English in a school during the summer. At the time, I am a little shy to say, my job was, I was a soccer player in my 20s.
Oh, cool.
I was a professional soccer player, and I had my 3-4 months, when the season ends and next season needs to start, you have a little parenthesis that you're free. So I used to use that time to learn and to improve my English. 2007, I came to Miami to study English, and I went back to Italy speaking more Spanish than English. But yeah, that was my first time.
Wow, that's awesome. So a professional soccer player for what team?
I didn't play in first division. In Italy, soccer is very, very big. Sure. 99% of people play soccer, and there are many different divisions. You're professional already in the fourth division. I was playing in fourth and third division.
Oh, cool.
It was still good money, and I've always been passionate about. So I've always said I have two passions: soccer and wine. So I was playing soccer. I was passionate about wine. I was traveling all over to improve my language, yes, but also to explore the wine countries in the wine regions in Italy. And but I would have never imagined that wine would have become my job at that time when
Sure.
I came to Miami.
Is your wife local to your hometown, or is she local to the U.S.?
None of them. She's from Istanbul. She's from Turkey.
Oh, wow. Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, we met in New York City. In 2015, I was traveling to America. Actually, at the time, I was already planning to move to America. And I was trying to figure out what to do. I knew that I wanted to work with wine, but I didn't know where exactly I wanted to work with wine. Maybe I wanted to do a restaurant. Maybe I wanted to do a wine bar. And my wife was working in a French wine bar. And the owner of the French wine bar was a very good friend of mine. So went there. My wife was managing the place, and my friend told me, "Hey, don't even think of flirting with my employees."
Now look at you.
Now we are married.
Look at you.
Yeah,
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah.
So the whole wine aspect and how that comes back into your life, you talked about that area of Italy is wine is very influential there. So did you start, like, what was your first introduction to wine?
Well, this is a story that I say many times. In Italy, you start very early. So
Yeah, dude, he was like 9.
Oh yeah,
Of course. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna tell you another story. Speaking about the age, couple of weeks ago, I was in Italy before I came back to America, and I have a friend of mine. He has a winery, and he built a new tasting room. I went there, and he came there. We visited the tasting room, and he just had a kid. He had just had a baby, 6 months old, and we were talking, and the baby was sitting like on his leg. And we were speaking, and he was like, we were drinking a glass of wine, and at some point he told me, look what he does. He started, and the kid was doing like, he wanted to drink the wine, and, just the lips a little bit wet. So this is when some people start. 6 months.
I love
That's
that.
awesome.
I was not that early. I don't know. I would say that the point is that vineyards are everywhere. So even when you are 5 or 6 years old and you run all over with friends, you run in the vineyards.
Sure.
You run in the vineyards. You play with ball in the vineyards. And you help with the harvest, it can happen that you have your first sip of wine. Your parents, you're having lunch. They say, "Hey, taste this." So, I don't know if I can say that in American.
No, you can. It's commonplace. And what's nice too, specifically about Buffalo, which a lot of the locals will tell you, generally you'll have your first beer early, early, and it's just it's a culture, know.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with having, I don't know, it's grapes. It's healthy. It's grapes. Well, there's antioxidants, right? Like it's not the end of the world. But I think now it's becoming more socially acceptable to. Obviously, it's okay to drink early. It's not that. It's just if you happen to have a sip surrounded by family and it's, an occasion or whatever, and it's just kind of like a part of the overall culture, it's not frowned upon. It's not what it used to be. The biggest thing now is when you're pregnant, just don't drink, right? And like you respect that whole process and whatever. But all in all, like if you're, if you start early, whatever. We always joke. I mean, everyone here, generally, your first beer is like 14.
Yeah.
And then people will lie and they're like, well, it's actually 17. But it's almost always, preteens. Everyone has a first beer.
Granted, it's Coors Light and not delicious wine. So when you got into the wine business, what was that like? What were you doing before that?
Other than soccer.
Yeah, other than soccer.
I just did these two things in my life, to be honest, because I was playing soccer, and I was playing soccer until my late 20s, early 30s, and then when you play football, if you play in NHL, you're gonna be good for life. But if you play, I guess, because I don't know American sports very well, in a lower category where you make some money, but you don't have enough money to be well all your life with what you've done. When you start being close to your 30s, you need to think about what's going to happen now that I'm becoming an adult. So I cannot live with sport all my life. So that's when I decided, well, what's my other passion other than wine, other than soccer? It's wine.
Sure.
So I am surrounded by vineyards, by wineries where I come from. I love wine. I know all of them, and a lot of wineries were looking for some, I don't know if I can say expansion in the outside of Italy market. They wanted to expand to United States, and I was hired by a winery in order to take care of the American market. So that's what brought me to America.
Oh, okay.
I was helping an Italian winery to sell wine in the United States, and that's why I started traveling more and more.
Sure.
So are you still exclusively with that winery, or are you with, because it's
No.
Val Val Imports, yeah? So can you explain that?
Yeah, so I worked with the winery for a few years, and that's when I learned about the opportunities that the United States can give you. was traveling back and forth a lot in order to expand the business, and I was dealing with many distributors here in the United States, and was mainly New York City. After a few years, I decided that I wanted to quit my job and start my own company in America. I am an ambitious person. I've always been. I try to do everything I do at the best. I sacrifice a lot. My wife can say that really I have a lot. I put a lot of passion in what I do. So I decided that this was the place where to be. So I quit my job. I started my own company. At the time, I was not a wine importer. I started a company as a wine broker. Wine broker didn't want any investment, and I didn't have money to invest at the time. So wine broker means that you are basically connecting wineries to importers. So you are the middleman. You facilitate the communications. You facilitate the trade. And this is what I was doing. I still do that. I have that company. I work with the 3 wine importers in the state of New York, 1 in Washington, D.C., and 1 in Chicago, Illinois. And I work with some wineries that sell wine. So I help, I facilitate the exchanges. This was 2017. And in 2019, I decided with my very good friend, you know the guy I was talking about, the guy of the French wine bar. With that guy, we decided to start our importation company, French and Italian wine. He has more or less the same background that I have, just he has it in French wine. So we said, why don't we import it? Let's try to do what we want to do.
Those are essentially the 2 largest countries regarding wine, right? I mean, the U.S. is there. Like, there's good wines, especially out of like California, whatever. But if you're talking like Bordeaux's and then Italy, you pretty much are just like, okay, those are like 2 sections of the pie that are just ginormous.
I believe so. I believe that, I don't know if I can speak about being large, but for sure the 2 countries with the biggest tradition.
Exactly, that impact and right.
Yeah, the oldest tradition, France more than Italy, but Italy is going up quickly, and as of now, for sure they are the 2 biggest. For sure they are the 2 biggest countries, wine-wise, all over the world.
So where are these options from? What you brought today?
Oh, they are all Italian wines, actually. As an Italian, I felt like, I don't know, maybe we are going to meet again. We are going to speak a little bit about French wine. But as a first time that we meet, I figure I have to speak about Italian wine.
Sure.
So,
love that, yeah.
Now, these are all wines that you have in your selection, right?
These are wines that I import. And actually, one of them, this one, comes from the winery where I grew up. You know, when I told you that I was playing with the ball in the vineyards, well, that vineyard also is represented by me. So
when you started this company and you wanted to get into this, what was your first conversation with that winery to be like, trust me with this?
I think that this is something that you earn over the years. I have worked with a winery, and I met wine distributors, and that's how I earned the trust from the distributors. Meanwhile, I have traveled a lot all over Italy, showing my passion for wine, and I earned the trust from the wineries. Sure. Then, of course, at the beginning, it's not easy. It's not easy to trust each other, but basically for them to trust me. But if you work hard and you try to do the things right, at some point things come back.
Sure.
So
that first one, right? The black label one, closest to you. What's the story behind that one? And can we try it?
That's a sweet wine that I would like to try as the last wine. Oh, sure. I would like to start from the first white, then we do the second white, then we do our red, and then we do the sweet. Speaking of the wines, I just want to tell you a couple of basic information.
Please.
When we started the company with my best friend, we wanted to be different. We tried to be special. We've been in the wine for too long. Our passion is too big. For us, it's not just a job. It's more. So we wanted to build the company in a different way. So we decided in 2019 to go back to Italian friends. We spent 6 months in there, and we visited the wine region one by one, looking for small family-owned wineries, basically farmers, because we really believe that farmers make the best wine, the healthiest wine. And we built a small selection of wine, but each single wine is really, really special. I am very happy that the market is recognizing that a lot. This makes me very proud. And so all these wines, well, I am partial. They are my babies, but they are special, really. The first wine is a Pinot Grigio. Of course, I wanted to start with a wine that is pretty popular, at least as a great varietal in America. Everybody knows Pinot Grigio. Everybody drinks Pinot Grigio. I don't know if I could say this, but I still say it. I normally don't have a good relationship with Pinot Grigios, most of all when they come from certain areas. But my friend Ernesto makes the best Pinot Grigio I have ever tried in my life.
Love it.
Wanted to try this. This is becoming extremely popular here in America. From the northern part of Veneto. Veneto is a region that is in the southeast of Italy, in the northeast of Italy. And can I put it here?
Of course.
So, and it's a great region for the Pinot Grigio. It's a great region for white wines, but also for red wines, actually, for Prosecco wines. It's a great wine region in Italy. And one day my friend Ernesto called me and told me, Valerio, you gotta come here. You need to try my Pinot Grigio. And I said, okay, I'm coming. I wasn't so, I told you, not such a big fan. I went there and I tasted it and oh my God, this is unbelievable. This is the best Pinot Grigio I've ever tried in my life. It's crispy, like most of the Pinot Grigios are. It's fresh, but next to it, it has a beautiful big fruit. It's fruit forward. It's powerful. It's deep, deeper than most of the Pinot Grigios are. Pinot Grigios sometimes they can be a little bit lighter. To me, sometimes weak. This is a different story, and I'm very happy because it's becoming extremely popular. It's the wine that goes the most among my portfolio.
Well, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you for this.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you for inviting me. I mean, you smell it and you see it.
It's really gentle and soft. It's not like,
Yeah, it's velvety.
yeah, it's not tardy at all.
Yeah, it's great. It's as I said, it's fresh. It's 2022, so it's the latest vintage. Doesn't spend so much time in stainless steel tanks. It goes almost straight away to the bottle, and it's just the fruit that is great. I love the way they make wine. I love the fruit, and when you start from a fruit that is good, it's easier to make the last the last part of the process until the wine in the bottle comes good. It's like when you cook. We say in Italy, if you have I don't know if I can say in America, the primary ingredients, if they are good, the less you do, the better you do.
Sure.
So it's the same for the wine. The fruit is so great, and the wine is so great.
Now, all of these are, you can buy all of these at Addie's, correct?
Yes, you can buy all of these at Addie's.
That's huge. So again, for the viewers, if you wanted to try this, they can, and because it's wine, you can buy this on Addie's app and they can ship it right to your door, which is really exciting. So if you're listening to this and you wanted to take notes, jot the name down, feel free to support both businesses here and then have it shipped right to your door. This is fantastic. What would you pair this with regarding food? Would you start with this? And then would you have a red for, say, obviously, you would want to have a red with some sort of meat, things like that. But would you just have this with cheese in the beginning and then just kind of like loosen up?
I I think in Italian. So in Italy, we are very much into pairing. So we don't start from white and then we go to red necessarily. Sometimes we only have a seafood dinner and we only want to have whites. We have a meat dinner, we want to only have reds. So depending on the dinner that I want to do. So I would say that this wine is great with any type of seafood.
Okay.
Pasta with clams, seafood salad.
That sounds amazing right now.
Seafood salad, even with oysters, with shrimp salad, with shrimp cocktail. It would be a great wine to have. Of course, I would have this wine also with cheeses. I would say with Parmesan cheese, with a slice of taleggio, pecorino cheese, a lot of Italian cheeses could be great with this wine. So yeah, but I am a seafood person, so I can imagine this wine with seafood. And when you're gonna ask me about this other wine, I'm gonna go the same place because I love seafood.
Sure.
I would eat seafood 5 times a week. I do eat seafood 5 times a week when I'm in Italy.
Yeah, I don't blame you. The
This-
seafood there is obviously going to be better than here.
Yeah, this wine, I can see why you like this Pinot Grigio more because it's sweet, but it doesn't give you like that overly sweet white wine kind of tingle on your tongue where you're kind of left like dry a little bit. Like this is just so well rounded and velvety and smooth that you just want to keep drinking it.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Sun makes a good job in Italy. I'm gonna tell you something that is regarding this Pinot Grigio, but it's also regarding these other 3 wines. Italy is a very lucky country for the geographical location and for the shape. You know that Italy is a peninsula, so it's long, thin, and they have a chain of mountain in the north, which is the Alps, and then they have a chain of mountains that goes all through Italy from north to south. It's you can call it Apennines. I don't know. We say Appennini in Italian. So first of all, it's on the south, so it's pretty warm, and sun is always useful when you have to make wine. But with the fact that we have mountains everywhere, and the country is so small, wherever you are, you're always close to the water of the sea and close to the mountains. So you always have big changes in temperature. The nights are always fresh, the days are always warm. These are all things that impact on the wine a lot. The wine, in the vegetables, in the fruits, they give a better complexity, and they soften up the wines more, and this is the result. I mean, wines from Italy are unbelievable.
Absolutely.
Because of the lack of the country also.
Yeah, I mean, you have such different climates throughout the entire country because it's so long. So you can have something in the northern part of Italy, it tastes extremely different than the southern part of Italy, just from geography.
That is true. That is true. In fact, the north is when I do events, when I do tastings, I like to for example, taste 3 different red wines, one from the north, one from the center, one from the south, and you can see the difference in the power of the wine. You start from the north, where it's a little bit cooler normally, and the wine are a little bit thinner, but they're always very elegant because of the reason I just told you.
Sure.
The more you go down, the more they maybe get a little bit less elegance, even though there is always elegance in Italian wine, but they get more power, more fruit. So you start from the north with wines like Nebbiolo, extremely elegant. Go down to Tuscany, you have the Sangiovese, and then you have the Montepulciano, and then you have the Nero d'Avola, you have the Primitivo. These wines that become bigger, jammier. So it's very interesting. Very interesting.
Well, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Jammier. Yeah, I like that characteristic of it. Because we have very jammy wine in certain sections of Western New York. Very. And it has its place, but like as it's really interesting. We're whiskey guys, like through and through, but we really appreciate good wine. Like we just, luckily, we're here, right? So that helps out a lot. And our business is literally built around different expressions. So we try so many different things, but you can generally taste Like if something's made by hand compared to commercial, massive investors behind a brand compared to farm, seed to feed, family owned type deal. And then you can also really, you just know if something's fresh compared to just kind of like, hey, this is borderline mass produced. There's 450,000 barrels of the same juice. It's going to all the same stores. And then you get hey, there's 15 of these every 6 months, and it's a totally different mindset going into making the product. And I'm really glad that you took the foresight going into that with your business, but then you also paid respect and homage to everybody around you from where you're from. And you're just like, hey, I want to help you guys out, opposed to, the ones backed by multi-millionaires where they're just throw a cool label on it and it'll sell anyways because who cares, my name is on it. Yeah. And this is literally seed to feed from the farm, which is amazing.
Yeah. No, I agree with all you said. When I have to pick a wine, I need to see the whole chain. I go there, I need to meet the person. A lot of people that I like to work with, they are farmers that are dirty with the field. They are not capable to speak in English. I have to help them. The labels, the back labels in America, they have different requirements. I have to do everything for them. They just want to make wine. They just have passion to make the wine. That's my people.
Yeah,
that's my people. I go there. I see the vineyards. I visit the vineyards. I eat the grape. I go through all of that. I see the winery, see the cellar, and that's how I pick my wines. Sometimes I joke and I say I have a tough job. I travel all over and I drink a lot of wine. But actually, speaking seriously, it's a lot of research. It's a lot of research. It's a deep research into the people, into the vineyard, into the bottles, into the wines. And that's how I built my selection.
That's awesome. Good for you.
That's really cool.
Are you ready for the second wine?
Sure am. I'm never going to try. I'm never going to turn it down. Do you want a glass? No, you sure?
We have one audience member today.
Yeah, we do.
It's exciting.
I just want to make sure everyone is happy and fun.
Hospitable,
Next time she's going to be here, hopefully.
Yeah. So this next wine, tell us a story about this one. This is another white that you said.
Oh my God. This wine is unbelievable.
Actually, before we turn, do you know the price that this is at Addie's? The white label one?
I saw it $12.99.
$12.99?
Okay. We should double check.
Okay.
Now we are going home. So I'm very excited about this.
That's awesome.
So am I. I'm really excited about it too.
Is this one, here, I'll move this over for you.
Thank you.
Here, he doesn't have to see that.
Yeah, I know.
Your best friend doesn't have to see what just happened.
It's okay. I drink a lot of it.
Is this one also chilled?
Yeah.
Slightly? Okay. It's Derek's. Not like it matters too much.
Yeah, I know.
This is, we are...
Go, best friend.
We are speaking of, this is a high-end wine. It's unbelievable.
This is?
To me, it's, let me tell you more. Let me tell you a little bit about the winery, then I tell you also about the wine. So,
which wine is this?
The wine is named Trebbiano. Trebbiano is the name of the grape varietal. I don't know if you're familiar with it, if you ever heard of Trebbiano grape. Trebbiano is a grape varietal that is grown mainly in central Italy. It's interesting because Trebbiano until 20 years ago was considered a grape varietal, lower end grape varietal, mainly used for blends. And at some point, 20 years ago, a winery or two decided that you can make great wines with the Trebbiano grape. And they decided to try to harvest the wine a little bit earlier, a little bit later, to vinify the wine in a different way. They started trying, and they realized that with Trebbiano grape, you can make great wines. And as of now, there are several wineries in the region of Abruzzo, which is the region where I come from, that make an unbelievable Trebbiano. And I'm proud to say that the winery where I grew up, that is named Camillo Montori, Mr. Camillo Montori is now 84 years old. He's still making wine, and is probably the guy that for first put the glass in my hand when I was a little boy. He makes one of the best Trebbianos in Italy. It's elegant, it's clean. You have green fruits like green apple, pear, and if you have a I don't know. They are all my babies. It's hard for me to say that if one wine is better than the other. But when I have a special night, I open this bottle very often.
So you said Trebbiano?
Trebbiano.
So if you were to, like, if we were to go to a family member's house with this bottle and they're just like, oh, like you brought a bottle of wine, be like, what is it? And then they would automatically think of any white, or I mean, my family would just be like, is it a red? And be like, no, it's not a Cab Sauv. So you would just say the grape varietal as the type of wine that it is, or is it like a Pinot whatever, or no?
This is a question that I'm asked many times. Is it like a Chardonnay? Is it like a Sauvignon Blanc?
Sure.
No.
So it's its own.
It's I'm gonna give you another interesting information because of all that I told you about Italy, the shape, the territory, the mountains, whatever. Italy has the lack of being very diverse. You move 30 miles and you have a completely different style, another 30 miles and you have completely different style. Imagine that in Italy we have over the 80% of the total grape varietals of the world. Wow. In Italy we have over 300 grape varietals, and if you go in the sub varietals you can arrive to 3,000. To give you
I know green and red, so
no, but just to give you an example, France has 20.
Really?
Yeah, Italy has 300. So
yeah, that's insane. And what that also like really goes to show how insane these like legit level 300 Soms are that can just taste something and they're like, I know where this is from. I'm like, how? There's 3,000 sub grape varietals and you're just like, I know what it is. Those people are wizards. You know, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, it's very complicated. The funny thing of the wine is that the more you know, the less you know. So the more you study about wine, the more you understand that there is so much more that you don't know. So yeah, but for this reason that I just told you, is not comparable to any, because there are 300 different profiles when you speak about wine. So Trebbiano is Trebbiano. Trebbiano is normally a fresh wine, a crispy wine.
That's good.
Sometimes is not very fruit forward. That's what it is. And then, depending on the soil, depending on the winemaker, to these basic qualities, you can add other qualities. In this case, we have a super elegant wine. It's clean. I love to say that this wine is clean.
Oh, yeah.
It's super, super clean. It's super elegant. Really, it's a great bottle. Also, you look at the shape of the bottle. It's unique. There are no bottles. Yeah, it's Burgundy style, but it's a different because the neck is very tall. It's very high, I don't know what to say, and the basis is a little bit shorter. And the style of the bottle, as you see it, you understand that this wine is special, and it is.
Yeah, this is very good. I feel like the first one was also very good. The first one was a very consistent mouthfeel going through the entire taste. This one, I feel like it starts off sweet, it jumps to a little bit of a sour, and then it comes back down to sweet again. Like it has this kind of really interesting experience that kind of plays with you a little bit.
I like that you use the word experience, and you show it a trip while you're tasting the wine, and that shows the complexity of the wine. Shows that this wine has a lot to say, and
it does.
It's beautiful. It's really, really beautiful wine. I'm in love with this wine.
Yeah, and it's only $17.99 here.
Yeah, I know it's kind of wrong, but this is my family, so
Sure.
I do my price when I buy the wine in Italy, and because of that, I am so anxious to promote this winery that I can give both with the Trebbiano, but they also make a Montepulciano that is the end of the world. I can make a special price that allow people to taste this fantastic wine and at no money,
Sure.
basically. So, and I want to connect this also to a more general thing, the fact that I have a lot of personal connections in Italy helped me to have a better personal relationship in Italy that allows me to bring a special wine for very little money, because people trust me, people know me for many years. So yeah, I have the possibility of giving great wine for less money that they should be, I would say.
This is fantastic.
It is.
This one's very good.
This is the problem. This is the problem, because then you're just like, well, I can get one of those. I can get one of those. I can get one of those. And then all of a sudden you're just like, well, now I need another one because I'm going to crush the first one with friends and family. And then all of a sudden you're going to be out. And then you go by the whole motto of one is none is 2 in 1, you know? So you just got to always have 2. It's a problem. But it's for research.
Yeah,
so,
research.
Yeah,
You
for
can,
research.
when you called out that green apple, you can totally taste that green apple. That is so good.
And what's wild is it's not the green apple skin like what you
Right.
would typically get with wine. It's like, no, like you just enjoyed the actual inner white part of the apple and you're experiencing that fresh crispness. Like it's not over tardy, it's not sour, it's just perfect. Like here's your touch of green apple. And then it feels like this entire wine went through some sort of like Brita filter. And there's like, it
And there's no
extracted
apple,
all the insanity.
Just to make it clear, there's no apple. It's the
Right.
grape.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because here in America, I have learned to see that you see some bottles with the wine mixed with the fruits, and
Sure.
no, we
yeah.
are speaking about Italian wine and the complexity of the grape that gives you other tastes, just the grape itself.
Have you ever had just like a handful of the grapes?
What do you mean?
Like the grapes make the wine, but have you ever just like walked and just ate like, I don't know, do grapes come in a bushel? Like whatever the size is, like just a whole vine of grapes, and you're just like
You
crushing.
speak about this,
that
this
specific grape. Yeah.
all the time. All the time.
I wouldn't know what I would just like sit there and pop these grapes all the
Well,
time.
I'm telling you more. I had some friends from Buffalo who came visit me last summer, and of course we went here, and they ate grapes.
No, I would too.
So that means next summer we're going to visit them and we're going to eat some
You're
grapes.
welcome, guys.
Don't get me started. Oh, now my palms are starting to sweat. I'm getting all excited.
I just booked a flight, so we're good.
Perfect. Hotels will be booked on Wednesday. No, this is amazing.
This
Thank
is
you.
very good.
It is.
Well, since you're speaking about traveling to Italy, I don't know if it's part of the subject that we are talking about tonight, but I want to say another thing. Because of my job, I do many tastings, wine events, wine dinner, and I speak to people, and my accent comes out, and everybody, oh, you're from Italy? Yes, I'm from Italy. Oh my God, I want to go to Italy so bad. I decided to start another little company in which I'm organizing tours.
Oh, cool.
To take people to Italy, to visit wineries, to visit my wineries, and I did it with my wife, and the company is named Piccola Italia Tours. And I started this year, and I had 3 tours, one in April, one in May, and one in June. We were supposed to meet a couple of months ago, and I was in Italy because I was with a group of 20 people from Buffalo. And we went to visit the wineries, we ate the grapes, and we had lunch with the winemaker. So this is where
That's so
my passion
cool.
took me. So I also take people to visit these wineries.
Nice. So you're a travel agent on top of it. Perfect. Perfect.
But this is the first year that I do it. I thought that it could be a good hobby. I understood that it's not a real hobby. It's a full-time job, and it's a little bit tough, but I am proud of my country, and I love to show my country through the wine. When I first started the idea of of organizing the tours, I came out with a sentence in my mind, and I was saying, I love my country. There are not so many opportunities in my country. So my dream was to show my country here in America. And how do you show my country through the wine? Now, after 6 years living here, it's time to show the country through the wine, but I also want to take America to the country to see the wine themselves.
Sure.
So it's beautiful. It's a lot of work. There is a lot to do. But yeah, so it's all about wine in any case.
Are a lot of the wineries close to each other? Like in Buffalo, Western New York, down Chautauqua County, they have a wine trail where they're all basically right next to each other. Does that exist in Italy, or is it kind of a drive?
It's they are everywhere.
Yeah.
They are everywhere. Where I live, I have probably 50 wineries in 10 square miles, but it's not because it's my area. If you move down 20 miles, it's the same. If you move up, it's 20 miles.
Oh, wow.
Italy is divided in 21 regions, and each region has its own wine. It's not like France. You have Bordeaux in the southeast, in the southwest. You have Burgundy. You have Beaujolais, you have Rhone, and then you have Languedoc, and then you have the Champagne. But you have a lot of country that is not just wine. In Italy, there is no part of the country where there is no wine. Even if you go to the mountains, or if you go to the valley, even if you go to the volcanoes. We have wineries that grow in the volcano. We have 2 volcanoes. One is the Vesuvius, close to Naples, and the other one is Etna in Sicily. And you have the wines that grow in the volcanoes, and they are so earthy, for example, because of that.
Wow.
I couldn't even imagine tasting volcanic wine.
This sounds awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Volcanic wines, you love them or you hate them.
Sure.
I personally love them. They are very particular, very mineral, very earthy, a little bit dirty, but dirty in a good way, I would say, that they are very interesting.
It sounds like the Isla of Scotch. People either love Isla whiskey or they hate Isla whiskey.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Absolutely.
So do you enjoy white wine or red wine more in general?
I drink both.
Yeah.
It really depends on what I am having. A question that I am asked a lot is what is the difference between Italy and America? Between Italian people and American people wine-wise. The main difference is that here in America, a lot of people, they like their wine, and doesn't matter what they are eating, they are having their wine. I like Cabernet, I am having cod, or I am having ribeye, I still have my Cabernet with the cod and with the ribeye. In Italy, it doesn't work like that. In Italy, we pick the wine depending on what we are eating. So it really depends on what I am having for dinner. I like whites with seafood, and in the summertime, you like more reds when it's colder or when you're having meat. When it's hot outside, even if you are having a meat dinner, you don't want to have a heavy Cabernet. Maybe you have a rosé, or you have a light red, or it all depends on what you're eating. So I would say that I drink 50-50.
Sure.
50-50. I remember when I first got into wine,
Should I open?
Sure.
Oh, sure. I had a red wine with a rice cake smothered in peanut butter while I was watching a TV show. I was like 24 and 23, 24. And yeah, I had half a bottle of red wine with a rice cake. And if anybody in Italy listens to this, they're just like, I no longer like anybody in America ever. Like, what is wrong with you?
Peanut butter too.
Oh yeah, dude, it made no sense, but I love that wine. I actually still have a photo of it, but it's nowhere near this level of respect.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was like an $8 bottle of commercial wine, but we were broke still in college trying to make it work.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be fancy, watching my fancy TV show. And then I got hungry for a snack, so then I just kept drinking, and then I just added a rice cake. It made no sense.
Can I say something that maybe didn't people don't think that I am nice anymore. The first time I realized that some people here have a burger with shakes was that's crazy in my opinion.
Oh, like milkshakes?
Yeah, milkshake with burger.
Milkshakes and a burger.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh my God,
I'm the
that's
same
not
way, though.
accepted in Italy.
You know? No?
Well, if we go into that direction, we are going too far. I don't want to say what's not accepted in Italy about American customs, because for sure there are things that are not accepted in America about Italians. So yeah.
I mean, I don't really like a burger and shake either. That's too much.
It's way too much, and it doesn't sit right.
No.
It just doesn't sit right. But I don't know. Every once in a while, sometimes, I mean, here's the thing though. This is where you draw the line. French fries in a milkshake are a different story.
Yeah.
And fries are going to come with the burger.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're having French fries and then you like dip them in the milkshake, that's good, because you're just kind of dipping the French fry in the milkshake. This is why everyone.
Never heard of this before.
I know. This is why everyone in the U.S. is like 340 pounds, because we just. I love how he laughs in agreement. He's like, correct.
And then they come for dinner to me and they make oh no, you're making pasta. I can't have pasta.
Right.
No.
Right. And then they realize you can have a great amount from a portion standpoint of pasta in Italy, and you don't gain weight or bloat because it's so good for you, because it's like super fresh. And then our pasta is just loaded with nonsense, and it's just a knot in your stomach. It's insane. Yeah, the food, we talk about it all the time. The food in Europe is just way, way better and cleaner. Mm-hmm. But it's fine.
I have to again, people are thinking that I'm not nice, but I have to agree with that. Food-wise,
oh yeah, it's not even close.
It's I can speak about my country. There is nothing like that to me. So, but I know that here there are so many Italian families. So I'm sure that a lot of people understand what I'm talking about. So
Oh yeah.
There's one of our mutual friends is coincidentally a travel agent, and she is engaged to an Italian, and he's like born and raised Italy. He actually we'll talk offline, but anyways, when they were here, he had 2 different pizzerias in Buffalo, and both of them had the authentic brick oven for their pizzas, and then everything was like fresh, super clean ingredients. A lot of it was imported from Italy, and the one was Jay's Artisan. Mm-hmm. And he goes, this is like the closest by far regarding all the fresh ingredients, the way that they actually make the pizza, the portions. And it's like one of the most expensive pizzerias in Buffalo, and it's worth every single penny. And then he goes, yeah, I literally go there like 3 times a week, every time I'm back in Buffalo, just because it's like the only thing that reminds me of home.
Yeah, the recipe is very important. The recipe needs to carry the tradition. Even though, now we are speaking about food, but what I'm saying is also a little bit related about the wine and everything. I noticed that I love cooking, and I cook all the time whenever I can. If I make a dish in Italy and I make the same dish in America, it doesn't come the same. Mm-hmm. And after a lot of thinking about, I realized that, in my opinion, what is the difference? The difference is the water. Water is the basis of everything that we have: food, wine, everything. Mm-hmm. When the water is different, the quality of the food, of the meal, is different. So the water in Europe and the water in America are different waters. That's why the dishes don't come the same. I don't know if I can go into brands of pasta.
Sure.
You know the Cecco and Barilla, the 2 main brands of pasta. They are from Italy, and they became so popular here in America that at some point they didn't want to import anymore. It was too expensive, so they decided to do the factories here in the United States. They make the pasta with the same recipe that they make in Italy, that they use in Italy. If I had the Secco in Italy and I had the Secco in America, or the Barilla in Italy, the Barilla in America, the pasta is completely different because of the water. And with the water, I would say of the soil. It comes from the corn and whatever. So this is very interesting, and it's also the difference between the Italian wine and the American wine.
Sure.
It's the weather, it's the temperatures, but it's also because of the water. The water is the basis of everything.
Sure.
Anyway, are you ready for a glass of red?
I am. Now I'm thirsty and hungry.
Yeah, right.
Do you
No,
want
it's
to
exciting.
rinse or I can just pour?
No, go
You
ahead.
can just pour. Yeah, I'm gonna go home and get a burger and a shake on the way home. I think right now.
Jeez.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
So let me tell you another couple of things since we are speaking about differences. There are other two things that in Italy are not allowed, and in America they normally everybody does. Parmesan cheese on top of seafood pasta
Yeah.
is not tolerated in Italy. Does not exist. The first time I came to New York, I went to a restaurant. They gave me. I ordered pasta seafood. The guy comes with the Parmesan cheese. You want some cheese? I was like, what?
What?
I never. My friends did not believe that this happened. So it's not just that they say it's not correct. Something that they don't do. And the second thing is chicken with pasta. We don't do pasta with chicken. We don't put chicken on top of pasta. That's
Really?
yeah. I know that it's
That one's shocking to me. I knew about the Parmesan one, but I did not know about the chicken and pasta one.
Why?
I don't know. Just you don't do it. That's it. Does not exist. A dish with
You just don't do it. That's the best answer ever.
no pasta and chicken, no
Yeah.
pizza and chicken, which in America everybody does, and I am becoming more tolerant.
Do you like chicken and pasta? Have you ever had it?
I sometimes I do, but I hope this is not gonna be seen in Italy.
That might. Your name's on it. I don't know.
I do, and I enjoy it. It's just that something that in Italy does not exist.
That's
Well,
awesome.
when you go to fancy restaurants in Buffalo, they have it like fettuccine Alfredo, and then you can add chicken. So they don't assume that you just want to have chicken on it. So I guess that's kind of where they're coming from. Maybe is that like don't assume that they want chicken on there, or maybe they're just looking for extra money. I don't know, but
It's America. They want more money.
yeah,
Let's be honest. I love how he just starts laughing.
yeah. So yeah, I know.
So let me tell you a couple of things about this
Yes.
wine. So I was in Tuscany in one of my trips hunting for new wine, and I was looking for something special. I was close to the. Thank you. I was close to the city of Siena, in a little village that is named Monteriggioni, a beautiful village on top of the hill, surrounded by the walls. It's gorgeous, and I see this little winery right in the middle of nowhere, a villa, beautiful villa as well. The guy, Luca, makes 3 wines, 2,500 cases a year in total. He makes a Chianti Riserva, which is what we are drinking, a Cabernet, and a Sangiovese. That's it. And I tasted the wine, and oh my God, this is the best Chianti I have ever had in my life. You know, Chianti is normally made with Sangiovese grape. Chianti needs to be at least 70% Sangiovese. Sometimes it's 80, sometimes it's 100%, but it needs to be based on Sangiovese. Sangiovese is a grape varietal with 2 main characteristics. It's very dry, and it's very high in acidity. So very often, when you have a Chianti, you need to have the Chianti with food. Because if you have it without food, with the dryness and the acidity together, it's a little bit harsh, I can say. This guy blends the Sangiovese with Cabernet Sauvignon and ages this Chianti, this Cabernet and Sangiovese in a type of oak that is named Slavonian. Slavonian oak is a great type of oak that is used a little bit all over Italy, but mainly in Tuscany because it's perfect for the Sangiovese. It's soften up the Sangiovese, smooth up the Sangiovese, and the result is a wine that keeps all the characteristics of the Sangiovese. So you add this little acidity, and it's more on the dry side, but it's extremely soft, extremely round, extremely smooth, and it's great. It's just great.
Yeah, this is phenomenal. And immediately, as soon as I drank this, I'm like, I need some prosciutto with this. Like, this would be so good with just even some prosciutto or just some meat. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
This is $20 at Eddie's.
It's hard to believe.
Yeah.
Oh, this is really good.
I really do enjoy Chianti a lot. I think this one might be one of my favorite red wines.
It's not, you know how with drier reds you get a lot of pepper generally? There's like none of that.
You can kind of get it on the back end.
Yeah, barely. But again, this is like every single wine has been gentle. It's not just like punching you square in the mouth, and it's just like I'm extracting every bit of moisture out of your mouth, and I'm going to make this as dry as humanly possible. It's not like that.
It's just very
it's
well
pleasant.
rounded.
Yeah,
Everything is. Now, these are all from different wineries, too.
Yeah.
Are they all from the same region? Like we were talking north, central, and southern. Are they all kind of from the same region or not?
No, this is something that I didn't say at the beginning when you asked me. I build my selection from north to south. You need to have something from all over the country. So I normally do like this. I pick one region, and in every region, either I know everybody or I have a friend who knows everybody. So I go there, book my hotel or whatever for a week, for 10 days. I go there, and every day I go visit wineries. I go visit places. I know where is the best area for the production of this, for to grow this grape varietal that I'm looking for. I go there and I go visit wineries. So this is in a trip that I did in Tuscany. This is a trip that I did in Veneto. Of course, this is the winery where I grew up. And the last one, I'm going to tell you the story later because this has a particular story, the sweet wine that we're going to do later.
This is great.
it is. Thank you for all these, and really thank you for sharing. I mean, this is just amazing. So this is north or this is south
This
Italy?
is Tuscany. So it's a center, a little bit more on the northwest,
Okay.
I would say. So that's but that's mainly central Italy. And honestly, I wanted to taste this wine because this is the wine that is probably being the most rewarding in the most high-end places. People who understand. People who like to drink good wines, who understand good wine, want to drink this wine. Imagine that I started selling some wine in Chicago recently, and I don't know why, I don't know how. A couple of months ago I was there. Actually, no, a couple of months ago I was in Italy. Probably it's now 6 months ago. I made an appointment with the beverage director of the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. I don't know how, but he gave me an appointment. So I go there. The building is very tall. I take the elevator, last floor. I go to the bar. He makes me wait. We start tasting the wine. And we start tasting. We taste the Pinot Grigio. Oh my God, this is good. We tasted other wine. And then he tasted this wine. And he looked at the price and he told me, how many bottles do you have per case? 6? I was like, no, 12. So this price is divided by 12 bottles? Yeah. First he told me, your price is wrong. There is something wrong. It's too low. And then he told me, okay, how many cases do you have? I said, well, brought from Italy 300 cases. Okay, give me the 300. Wow. I was like, I can't. I have it by the glass in New York, in Buffalo. And then we started speaking. I ended up giving him 50. And but this wine has crazy reactions when people try it.
He was probably crushed. He was ready for 300 and you're like, I got 50 for you. And he's like, all right, you're my guy because now I got to wait and I need more. Like, I'm still going to get my 300. It's just going to be in increments.
Yeah.
Were you laughing with him? Because was he sad? Was he like, I wish I could get more?
No, but it was kind of formal. I was also a little bit tense, when I was in that. English is not my language. I am in that type of environment. The guy was dressed elegant, and he comes to me and he starts speaking wine, and he was like, "Okay, give me the 300," and I was like, I can't.
That's awesome.
And the guy he was just serious. He was just okay. How many cases can you give me? I want this wine to be here.
That's awesome. Good for you.
Yeah, this is very rewarding for me.
Absolutely.
I always say I don't consider myself a great salesperson, but I love to speak wine, to show wine, to find wine, to taste wine. I love to do that. And when I see appreciation on the other side, that's all for me. Then the rest comes with it.
The thing is that you are a good salesperson just from the fact that you bring on wines that you truly enjoy. So your passion with describing just your joy and the story behind that, and then just having them try the wine themselves, sells it. So you don't have to be that pushy salesperson that's like, just buy it. You just have to be like, this is why I enjoy this. Just have a sip, man. And then they're like, okay, I love this. So you're a great salesperson, and these wines are fantastic.
Thank you. Maybe.
Maybe.
No. What I mean is maybe people can read my passion, see my passion.
They can. So, yeah, they can.
So maybe what you're saying can be true from that point of view, but I don't consider. I see some people, they like to not they like. They are capable to put the wine in your hand and make you buy the wine. Me, I am always only if it's good for your business. I don't want you to have this wine if this wine doesn't work, or I don't want you to have this wine because you like me, because a lot of people, if you're in the sales, some people buy because they buy the person before they buy the wine. I don't want you to buy the wine because you buy me.
Yeah,
you gotta like the wine, and this wine needs to be good for your business. I always say that. And sometimes the people tell me, okay, so it's not good for my business. I don't want it anymore. And I lose the sale.
And then he's like, no, buy the wine. Like, okay.
Like, I was half kidding. Yeah. So this is where now you just are going to buy the wine. I was just trying to see your true intention.
So $19.99. I'm very impressed with the prices, because not only are these really delicious, but they're extremely affordable for the quality. Like, you could easily jack up the prices, but again, that just doesn't seem like who you are. And that's very admirable that you can pick up something this delicious for $19.99 when others are selling for like $74.99. Like, it's really cool.
I also like the fact that it's just families helping families from this specific store to you, to the network that you have, and then it's just all across the board. People are just trying to help people, which is really nice. And it's got to be intimidating and also stressful coming to the U.S. and dealing with these two markets, specifically Buffalo and downstate New York City. It's just very, it's difficult, because there are aspects of, in Europe, building trust and maintaining trust with people is very temperamental. There's some cultures where they'll trust you up front, and then if you do one thing wrong, they'll never trust you again. And then there's other cultures in Europe where you have to build it over time, and then if you have it, then you have it for life, and then your kids will have it for life, just because they understand how that goes. And then here, and I can speak to Buffalo. I was born and raised here, and then same with New York City. It's just kind of a different dynamic down there. But the two largest markets in New York State, between Buffalo and New York City, it's just, there's no nonsense, and people can see through fluff. People can kind of see through the fake, and they'll just call it like it is. And it's got to be intimidating at first, trying to tap into these markets where you're coming from a very genuine place and saying, like, I want this, wine to be right for your business, not just because you're wanting to support me. And I think that's why it resonates so well, specifically in these two markets, because they're like, okay, like this is one, it's authentic, like it's real wine that a lot of other places aren't going to have. So there's that mystique about it as well. And then there's also this aspect of the humility and just the upfront honesty behind it, where it's going to do well in those two markets, because that's the two biggest things that a lot of people in purchasing in those two markets look for, you know, and it's not just about, oh, they're really pretty, or, oh, like this brand is never going to go away. Like they're around forever. So like, yeah, I'll put it on my shelf. And it's just like, I want to deal with like a real human to human connection and deal with real people, specifically with Buffalo, New York City.
For my experience, I can say that when I came here, as you know, as I told you, the first place where I came was New York City. New York City was a big training for me. I think you are aware of what New York City is. New York City is a jungle. It's a place where you eat someone or you're eaten by someone. It's a place that is the most business-oriented place in the world. It's all about business. It's all about being better than the others. And I was coming from Italy, where you know, Italians, they are, how do you say, laid down, like relaxed. So it was a big hit from that point of view. But I'm not sure if I understood everything of what you said. Correct me if I'm wrong. You said that I'm coming from Italy, where the word is more genuine. You said.
Yeah.
I don't see that as true. I feel America is more genuine and loyal.
Really?
Yes. In Italy, someone can take advantage. People take advantage. Here, yes, New York City was business, but if someone likes you, if you do the things right, people are loyal to you. And most of all, when I came to Buffalo, Buffalo is extremely loyal. When they say the city of good neighbors, I say that all the time. It is the city of good neighbors. I found friends here. I am friend with most of my clients. We hang out together. I invite them for dinner. They invite me for dinner. My wife and I are never home for dinner. Every night we have something to do. We have an invitation. So about being genuine, I would say that to me, America is much more genuine than Italy, but you gotta work hard. In Italy, you're always trying to find the way to make it, even if you don't work hard. Take advantage here, take advantage there. Here, people appreciate if they see that if you are a honest person, and if you work hard, people give you back.
Sure.
And for this reason, I am not. How can I say? I started the trip this year, so the tour situation. So I had to deal with Italians, work-wise. I can't find myself there anymore. I find myself better here. Here, if you're smart, if you work hard, people give you back. There, you work hard, you're smart. It's not sure if someone can screw you. They do it.
Interesting.
So yeah.
That's very fascinating. I wasn't expecting that at all.
No, not at all.
Can I?
Yeah, absolutely. Here, you want to pass that over to him too?
Thank you.
Yeah, that's an interesting perspective that I wasn't aware of.
No, not at all. It's good to know, though.
Yeah,
No,
for
because,
sure.
Obviously.
Here people, Italy is always described as, the drink country. And it is, but Italy has flaws, and
So does the U.S.
yeah.
So does the U.S.
But everywhere has good things and bad things. But a lot of people, I describe my country and they say, oh, it's beautiful, the vineyards, the mountains, the food, the drink. And people tell me, what are you doing here? I'm doing here because, oh my God, I'm doing here. I was choking me. I say that I'm here because I want to work and I want to make it. And this is the place where if you work hard and you're a smart guy, you're gonna make it. Sooner or later, you're gonna make it.
Well, 31 years, we're trying.
We're trying.
We're trying.
We're going to make it, Mike. We're going to make it.
That's what I keep telling my wife. Come on, honey, the band's going to make it. It's like, you're doing another podcast for free? Listen, I'm helping out the business.
But yes, I'll bring you home a bottle of wine, dear.
Yeah, 100%. I'm actually going to Syracuse this weekend. So we had my in-laws, their whole family, they're wine drinkers. Again, we're whiskey folk, right? So that's our juice. That's our brown water. So when I showed up in the family, they really turned me into a wine drinker, and then I'm slowly starting to turn some of them into whiskey. And I'm just like, listen, you don't have to try that. Try this. You might like it. Add a little ice cube. You'll be fine. And now they're just like, all right, I'm gonna after dinner, I'm gonna have one with you, you know. And I'm like, all right, sounds good. But I'm definitely gonna pick up the Chianti. Just as a celebratory, welcoming bottle, just because of what the spirit of the whole weekend is, and they're going to be ecstatic just because they love and appreciate really good wine. So it'll be in Syracuse this weekend.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. I don't sell wine in Syracuse. I don't know anybody. I haven't been there yet. I've never been. So if you know anyone who wants my wine in Syracuse, who knows? Maybe one day.
We got your email.
Yeah, we got your email.
Day. Yeah.
For now, we'll just obviously hammer and support Addie's just because this is the only place I buy wine anyways.
Yeah.
So it's fine.
Well, they can order online from Addie's. No?
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. They can order online from Addie's.
Yeah.
But it's just the wine selection here is ridiculous. So it's really nice to have this portfolio on top of it too, just to boot, because now you're getting, wonderful options. And this one is $12.
Yeah.
I love how you laugh every time. You're like, it should be more. It should be more.
Well, this one is a very dark purple, and immediately it smells like a dark cherry syrup. That's what this smells like to me.
Why? So let me tell you.
Please.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about this wine. So I've been here in Western New York for 2.5 years now, and I haven't had any sweet wine in my selection for 2 years. And I realized as soon as I came that there is a big part of this area that love to drink sweet wines.
Yeah.
So I started searching, and I wanted to have a sweet wine that was different than any other sweet wine that I've ever tried. So what do you want to say with
Wow.
that? Thank you.
There's chocolate in this.
That is so good.
I taste chocolate.
I was expecting it. I was expecting it to be very sweet. And I'm sorry that I interrupted your story, but I literally kind of just blacked out for a second.
Let me tell you about the story about this wine.
Oh my God, this is amazing.
I was I wanted to have a sweet wine in my selection, but as I want to do with all the other wines, I wanted to have a wine that was different and that was unique. So I found this winery in Emilia-Romagna. Emilia-Romagna is a region that is right above where I come from. It's like one of the biggest regions in Italy, and it's the center, a little bit more on the north, right on the side of Tuscany. So they are side by side. And they make a sweet wine that is named, I named it Caramella. It's a DOC that is named Cagnina Dolce. It's made with a grape varietal that is called Refosco. Refosco is a grape varietal that is normally used to make dry wines. So this grape varietal is not thought to make sweet wines. So they make a sweet wine with this grape varietal. You know how it works to make a sweet wine? During the process of the vinification, you basically transform the sugar in alcohol. So you vinify the grapes, and normally the sugar goes down, the alcohol goes up, and you make the wine. That's how you make the Chianti. That's how I make all of them. Mm-hmm. They just stop the vinification earlier, so the sugar doesn't go down enough, the alcohol doesn't go up enough. And you have this wine that is 9% alcohol. It's sweet, while you drink it, but it's dry in the finish because of the grape varietal. And sometimes I drink sweet wines. I enjoy the sweet wine while I drink it, but then it's a little bit sticky, it's a little bit syrupy. I don't know, I have a little bit and then I don't want anymore. This wine, because of being dry at the end, you want to keep drinking it. It's sweet, but you want to keep drinking and drinking and drink it. You want to have it with a dessert. You want to have it by itself. You chill it a little bit. You have it like 11 in the morning. It's not heavy. Nice sunny day. You chill this wine. You're outside. It's just perfect. And it's unique and it's actually exploding. It's kind of new in the market. I just brought it in and it's blowing up. I'm very, very happy. I'm very, very satisfied.
All four of these have had that same characteristic where it starts off like kind of slow and it ramps up to that middle. And the middle is where you get all that flavor, and then it kind of lets you, it doesn't overtake the ending, which with, like you were saying, with sweet wines, I get the same thing. With sweet wines, the back of my tongue, if it starts getting too coagulated or like very viscous, I don't like that because I feel kind of drowned out a little bit. This, like you said, it ends with that dry note, but that sweetness right in the middle, right after that initial taste, it kind of hits you and you're like, where is that? I've never had that before.
No, it makes no sense. All of these wines were roller coasters of love. And you're just like, none of it adds up.
Yeah.
And they're all under $20. Something's wrong.
I like that roller coaster of love.
That's what it is.
But I use it.
Go ahead.
After this interview, he's doubling all of these prices because he's like, we're way underpriced.
It sounds like us.
I like it like that because my main goal is I want as many people as possible to taste my wines. The more we open the bottles, the more I am happy. So.
Can we put, you got to add these to the description.
Yeah, we'll do. Oh, I'll put a link to all
that almost sounded like I was going to say Addie's, but yeah, you have to add these into the caption and description of the video.
I'll put a description. Everybody can buy them right from there.
Yeah.
Because these are very good.
These are incredible.
I'm very impressed.
We haven't even eaten. We don't need to eat.
Yeah.
I mean, thank you. I mean, we will after the fact, but this is amazing.
Let me say just the last thing about this wine because I am very proud. I found the juice and I had to create a label for this. I decided to call it Caramella. Caramella in Italy means candy. So I think that this is perfect because the sweetness of the candy is perfectly described in this wine, but my way, the sweetness my way, which means sweet, but what is it? The roller coaster of love.
Roller coaster of
dry
love.
way. So
I love it. So do all these bottles have imported by ValVal Imports? Like how can somebody going to the liquor store know that this kind of has been blessed by you?
it's written in the back label.
Okay.
Who is the importer? And yes, I'm proud to say that they are all imported by me. I don't have a big selection. It's a small selection. I feel very honored and lucky to have met Tyler. Tyler is supporting. I'm a small company, so Tyler is supporting my company a lot, which I thank him for doing that here at Addis. And I'm glad to say that wines are doing really well because Tyler didn't order just once, but he keeps reordering. So which means that there is a follow already around the wines. And they're imported by Val Val Imports. It's written on the back label, but what matters is the main label that is in the front. That's what matters. The winemakers are the real genius. So, do
you have a list of all the wines that you import somewhere? Is there a website or social media?
Yeah, I have my website that is named www.valvalwine.com. I have Facebook, I have Instagram. I'm not so good with these names. My wife takes care of them. So I gave you the Instagram
yes, the business card
before, and it should be Val Val Wine Import.
It is.
And also on Facebook, it should be more or less the same name, Val Val Wine Imports. So yeah, if where is the camera? If you want to follow us, please do it. We would be more than happy to show you all the events, all the dinners, everything that we do.
Sure.
Outstanding.
Well, thank you, man. Thank you for bringing everything. Thanks for letting us try some stuff. This has been amazing, and you definitely got 2 new customers here from this because these wines are just fantastic, and you have to try them.
Thank you very much. I appreciate very much that you invited me. I'm gonna exchange this invitation with an invitation in Italy.
Sounds good.
Thank
Love
you.
that. Thank you all so much. Go check them out. We got links for everything down in the description. Buy a bottle. It's so affordable. So even if you are a little bit hesitant, just buy a bottle, and I guarantee you it'll change your mind. Thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.